Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to episode 9 of my Birds of a Feather series. This is going to be a series of 10 videos, so after today there will be one more, and all 10 of these are combining doodling with Zentangling, focusing on birds and like bird houses and things like that. So each one is a Zia, which is Zentangle inspired art. None of these are the true method of Zentangle. It's just incorporating elements of that into our doodles. Okay, if you purchased the bird kit, I have out my little bird sketchbook, my blue colored pencil, gold pen, black micron, pencil and blending tool, and the 4 little tiles. If you do not have the kit, all you need is something to practice on, so it can just be scrap paper or a little sketchbook, a black pen, a pencil, and a blending tool. The gold and blue are optional. And then for the paper, you can just use like a cardstock or a mixed media paper, something a little bit thicker than regular paper. And just cut some 2-inch by 2-inch little tiles. Of course, this can be done on bigger or smaller as well, but these ones are 2 inches. Okay, I have 4 of them. We're going to be using 3 of them today. All right, I'm going to scoot those off to the side, grab my sketchbook and my pen, and we're going to do some practicing. All right, let's open up to a clean page. Here we go. All right, so we have done birds that are shaped like buttons, birds that are shaped like tacos. What else have we done? We did a beautiful peacock. We did a whole Zentangle bird. So many fun things. And today is kind of a just a little reminder that you now know how to make birds. Like, you don't need a fancy button. You don't need fancy tools. You can just sketch and draw and doodle adorable little birds wherever you go, whenever you want. So today we're going to do just some kind of easy ones and make some little tiles out of them. Okay. All right. So I'm going to grab my pen and we're going to do some shapes. We have already done circle birds. So let's do a square. And when I say square, I mean square-ish. So you can make it kind of wiggly and rounded, just so it resembles a square shape. And then let's do a triangular one. And this can be lopsided, uneven, however you want. I like making them rounded though. And then with my pencil, I'm going to do an oval. It's going to be a tall oval. Okay, that one's in pencil because our feather is going to come out the side. Okay, not our feather, the wing. All right, so all you need to do is make a random shape and then add some legs. And when I add legs, I like to start closer at the top and go a little bit wider at the bottom. Add the little bird feet on there. And then as far as a beak, you can put it right here and he's looking down. You can put it over here, it's looking up. Over here, it's looking sideways. It really doesn't matter. You can put it up here and add his little eyes and it looks like he's looking up at the sky. I want to put mine over here. And I like to do like kind of a right angle, as if I'm making a little square in there. That's my favorite beak. There are so many different kinds of beaks. In fact, let's take a moment to make some. Let's just put some little curved bird heads over here. So you could go long, you could go open, you can do a curve like we did with our peacock. You can go really wide, but not long. You can do my favorite, which is a little more like a right angle. That's similar to that, but maybe a little bit wider. You could do really long. So for most of these videos, I'm doing this one just because it's my personal favorite, but feel free to do whatever beak you like. And it really changes the personality when you change up the beaks. Okay, so you just make a random shape, add a beak and some little legs. And then it needs a tail. Tails can go down, tails can go up. They can be really kind of boxy or really frilly. It's up to you. So I'm just going to put one going down. Just going to do 3 bumps. I like to make the end wide, and then when it touches the body of the bird, make it a little bit more narrow. Let's do this one over here. Let's give it some legs. I'm going to give it some long legs just for fun. The bird can go on kind of the flat edge. It could go on one of the rounded edges. Truly, wherever you want to put it, it will look like a bird. I'm going to go down here just to be a little bit different. Look at that. It already has personality. Oh, it's so cute. And then its tail can be out here or over here. I think I'm going to do mine over here. And I could make this triangular shape over and over again and change where I put the beak, change the length of the legs, change the shape of the beak, the shape of the wings, and the tail feathers. All right, this one here, I thought it would be fun to make the wing go off to the side a bit. So to do that, I'm going to put a little dot in about the middle of its body. Then I'm going to scoop way out here and way out here. And then just connect those. And now I can trace that oval. And I'm making my oval like really straight on the sides just for fun, and then round on the top and bottom. Can have short little legs or long. In this one, imagine if I put the beak down here and his little eyeball. It's going to have a big forehead, which would be really adorable. If I put his beak up here, he's got more body and less of a head up here. So really, wherever you want to put that will work. You just need to decide what you like. I'm going to put it up here. Again, I did kind of that like backwards L, right angle, as if I'm making a square. And he doesn't really need a tail. His wing is kind of covering it up. But if you want to add a tail, here's what I would do. It comes off the back, right? So I would kind of imagine it coming up here maybe, coming out, and then back down. So it looks like it's part of the bird this way. Unless you want it to come off the back like this one, it could just come out here. But I kind of like imagining that connecting to the bottom of his body. Isn't that fun? All right, then of course you need to add a wing to each one. My favorite wing to do is to put a little dot, and I usually put that kind of in line with or underneath the beak. And then I do a scoop around and scoop back. It's my personal favorite wing. This is also a fun one. I'm going to put my dot over here near the line of the beak. And then I can just do that like half moon shape or half circle shape, I'm sorry. And you can do just a simple eye. You can do a fancy eye. You can do kind of a little worried eye. And then of course adding their little hair, the little feathers on top of their head, and then adding details. So today is really about shape birds. I want you to be comfortable. I know you're not always going to sit down and doodle a peacock, but to relax, you can make these little shape birds. And as long as you remember a body, a beak, the legs, the wing, and a tail, you're good to go. The rest of it's up to you. So for tangling inside these, we've definitely done a lot of tangling inside wings. You also can tangle inside their bodies. And another fun thing to do on these birds is to add like a little stomach area. So we'll give this bird a little belly. Maybe it's a blue bird, like it's blue and then it's got a little white belly. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. On this one, the belly could kind of go like this, tuck in behind and come out over there. Okay. I'm going to write the words top feathers. So my favorite top feathers, I think my most favorite that I use the most often is just a little triple loop. Also love doing little curls. Also kind of a spiky little crown. Coming in narrow at the bottom. And even just some little flicks of our pen like that. I'm sure there's many more, and feel free to fill up a whole page with your ideas. But sometimes as I'm doodling or sketching or Zentangling, I like to go back into these books and just sort of go, oh yeah, I can just do an oval bird and look at all the different little hairstyles I can give it. So I love having this little book to look back on. So many fun things. Okay, are we ready? I think we're ready. Okay, real quick before we start. The other thing we're going to add today to our tiles is some flowers. And so this is not meant to be a flower tutorial, but I do want us to practice because some of you are going to get to the tile and say, oh, I didn't know that was an option to make a flower like that. So let's go to another page. Let's draw a little hill. And let's just doodle a few flowers. All right, so I'm going to make some lines. And I'm just going to do mine straight in all different sizes. Just make 6 or 7 or 8 of them. This is not a bird tutorial at this point. This is just little fun, sketchy flowers. Okay, I'm going to use a technique. I'm sure there's a real artistic term for it. I don't know the term, but it's where, like we're gonna make a flower petal and then we're gonna go over it again and just, I think it adds a little bit of whimsy to it, okay? So I'm gonna pick this first one here and I'm gonna do a U shape. I'm gonna put a line on the top. And then I'm gonna do it again, really fast, really light on my pen, and just sort of near it. It's kind of difficult to see, but you can see I've got a slight double line going on there. Then I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna do a circle on the top of each. Then I'm gonna do another circle, kind of over the top, sort of beside it, overlapping, and see how we have this little bit of whimsy added by having some of these double lines. We can add some dots in here if we want, and some little leaves. All right, let's do another one. For this one, let's do a pointed seed shape. And let's do a pointed seed shape this way and this way. It's okay if your flowers overlap. In a field of flowers, they would anyway. All right, and then I'm just gonna kind of double those. And add some dots. Can also do a little leaves down here. Let's do a tiny one here. We'll do a little circle. And let's do a petal, and then a little petal in the middle. We'll put dots above that. And I'm gonna double all those lines, really light on my pen. So, so light. Look how cute that is. If you like flowers, in May is the May Florals series. It's gonna be so much fun. All right, let's do a couple more. I'm gonna pick a tall one over here and I'm gonna put a circle above it, but not touching it. And then I'm gonna do an aura around that. Does not have to be a perfect circle. In fact, it's cuter if it's not a perfect circle. Then I'm gonna do really big, wide petals. And I'm gonna double those. Add some little flicks. And maybe some polka dots in the middle. See how cute and kind of fun these are? All right, let's do another one here. I'm gonna hover above a little bit and I'm gonna do like a half circle with the round part pointing up. And then a bunch of big petals coming out the bottom and the sides. And double those. Add some dots around it. And some leaves. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. We can add more maybe later, or you can add your own. Just look up flower doodles, flower clip art, and start drawing ones that you like. We can even double the leaves. I didn't really think about that, but you can. Look how cute. Could even do some little curly Q leaves and double those. All right, we're gonna be adding some of those to our birds today. You didn't know you were getting more than one lesson today. Okay, I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to grab 3 of my little white tiles. Again, these are 2" by 2". There we go. And I'm going to put my pen away for a moment and begin with pencil. Okay. I lied. I'm actually going to begin with pen and then go to pencil. All right, the first thing I want to do is add a frame to each of these. To add a frame, we're going to put 4 dots, 1 in each corner. And then we're going to connect those, and I'm going to purposely be a little bit wiggly. I'm going to let my pen just sort of lift off the paper if it wants to, and maybe skip some little spots. This up here got too light, so I'm gonna change that. Okay, I'm gonna do the next one, 4 dots. Add a little frame. So it's a straight-ish line as far as the direction that it goes, but then we just have some little tiny bumps and imperfections in it. 4 more. All right, now we have all these cute little framed pictures ready to go. Now I'm going to switch to pencil. Okay, are we ready? All right, so this first one I am going to do as a square bird. I'm going to use my pencil and I'm just going to imagine how much of this tile I want to take up. I want to leave room for a beak on one side and a tail on another side. So it doesn't need to be huge, but it needs to be taking up enough of the space. So maybe about the width of my finger, maybe a tiny bit wider. The next one, I'm going to do a triangle. Leaving room for legs. If you want short little legs, you can make the triangle longer or down more, bigger. On this one, let's put a little bump of grass, like a little hill he's standing on. The last one's going to be my oval, and I'm going to actually start with the straight lines of the sides and then give them a bump. That one I definitely want to be about the width of my finger, so maybe even a little wider than I did. All right, here's our little shape birds. So cute already. All right, I'm not going to do the legs yet because those are easy with pen. What I want to do is put in their tails and wings and beaks. Okay, so I'm going to have this one. The beak is going to be about here. This one I think I'm going to make looking up and off to the side. And this one I'll have facing this way. Look how good you guys are at making doodle birds. I just love it. All right, this one needs a tail. I love big tails, but they don't have to be big. It can be a cute little tail right here. But I'm going to do a big one because I like doing big tails. So let me see. I think for the square one, You know what? Actually, I'm going to make his wing go off of his body a little bit. Did we do that in here? We didn't. We just did that on this one. I think I'm going to do it on this little guy too. So I'm going to put my dot close to the beak, down a little bit. And I'm going to go, it's almost like a heart, but it has a little middle bump there. Yours can look like anything. I just made that up. And then his tail would probably come off of here and go like that. So I'm just going to add that little tail in there. I'm going to find my eraser and I'm going to erase these little middle parts so I don't ink over them later. Okay, let's do the triangle bird. I'm going to give him, I think, just a little regular shaped wing. So I'm going to do a little dot close to the beak. I'm going to come down and just do a half circle. If you want, this one can be rounded and then up like that. You know, the top you give like a backwards S. That's kind of cute, actually, like a rounded one on a triangular bird. I changed my mind. I'm going to do that. Let me show you again how to do that. I'll do it in our sketchbook here. So if you make like a half circle, but then you do a backwards S, you bump up and down and up. You get this really cute, it's actually a great shape for a bird, but it can also just be the wing. Okay. All right, then we have this last little guy here. And I want his wing to go off the side as well, so I'm going to put a little dot close to the beak, not up too high. And I'm going to do a swing out and a swing out, and then I'm going to connect those. I don't think he's going to have room for a tail, so I'm just going to leave it like this for now. This one needs a tail. And I think I'm going to do some big loops. Give it a nice, beautiful tail. These are yours. They do not need to look like mine. This is episode 9. You guys have done these things. You've added beaks, you've added wings, you've added tails. So pick what you like best. Go back through your book. Add some fun details. Do a teeny tiny wing on one and see how cute that looks. Do whatever you want. This is like the empowerment video where I'm telling you, you can do this. You don't need me. Okay. I'm going to grab my pen. I'm going to ink these guys in. I'm going to start with their wing because that's the most forward shape. I think I'm just going to do the wing on each one. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to zoom out a little bit so you can see all 3 of them. Okay, then I'm going to do the shape. So this one is a rounded square. And if you don't like squares, then make them all circles or ovals. Truly. Do their little beaks. And tails if they have them. I'm going to add the little hill on this one just because I think it's cute. And I'm going to give it some little legs. Look how adorable these are, and all we have done is drawn basic shapes. Basic shapes and added a few fun details. All right, I think the next thing they need is eyes, and this is where you can go back and look in your book, and I hope that you use your book to add your own ideas. So let me go back and look at eyes that we did. I still love this little bird. I'm so glad we added that to our dangle. It's so cute. Like, here's some eyes that we did. And there's so many more. One fun thing you can do is aura, the little black part. Look how much character that has. Isn't that cute? I love these little birds. So lots of different eyes. You pick the ones that you like and add those. And all of these can be done by just putting a little tiny dot if you want. But I'm going to add a little bit more, of course. So I'm going to do a circle eye here. Add some eyelashes. So I just realized what I meant to do on the triangular bird was have him facing forward. All of our birds are sideways birds because that's how I prefer to draw a bird. When I try to draw them facing forward, they just always look like, they kind of look more like owls. I have a hard time placing their wings. I don't know. So I was going to do one. I'll show you my little sample triangular bird. This is what I was going to do. And he's cute, but I just like these sideways ones so much more. I don't know why. But look at his cute little beak. Okay, he needs an eye. I'm just gonna give him a little eye like that. And this one I'm gonna do a big eye. And I think I'm gonna have his little eye looking down like he's worried. That's so cute. Now I feel like this middle one needs a little more character. Maybe that one I will. Maybe I'll do something totally different. Look at that. Cute. All right, I need to add their hair or their top feathers. They don't really have hair, do they? I feel like this little oval one, he needs to have just like some little curly cues that tip forward. Look at that. Even if you just did one little loose hair, it'd be so cute. Let him go over your border if you want. This one I'm going to do a crown. My instinct is to do these little loops, but I'm going to do a little crown one. So cute. Maybe this one I'll do loops. All right, and let them dry for a moment, and then I'm going to erase all of the pencil lines, and we're going to start adding some patterns. Okay, are we ready? So this is really what I want you to take away from this video, is this step, this moment right here, where you can draw shapes. You can add wings, tails, eyes, legs, and you have a bird. And once you have the birds, then comes the relaxing part where you just start putting lines and dots and zigzags and circles and flowers into your bird or into his wings or into the background. This is where you get to just relax. So I'm not going to talk about the names of tangles necessarily today. We're going to use some that we've already done, and we're just going to do some little stripes or little zigzags and not be too serious about it, more just filling in spaces and giving these guys a lot of texture. Okay, and then we'll add a couple little flowers and do some shading and it'll be done. So hopefully this video will be under an hour. We got about 20 minutes to do these birds, okay? All right, let's go to this first little square guy here. I'm gonna zoom in a bit. There we go. All right, I want to add a pattern to his body. I just think that he's got this nice big square that we can tangle in. So what could we do? What could we do in there? I think we should do floors. Do you know floors? So here's floors. We're gonna add some diagonal lines and we're going to let our pen lift when it gets to the wing or the eyeball. And then I'm going to add a diagonal line the other way. And just a few, we don't need a lot. Look at that pattern already, I love it. So I said I wasn't going to focus on patterns and then right away I named a pattern. Okay, this one is called Floors, F-L-O-R-Z. It is by Zentangle. Basically, it's crisscrossing lines, and then in the little intersections, you put a diamond. It was literally named after the floor in the founder's kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to put these tiny little diamonds in here. Look at that. If you want to do little circles, you can. But at every intersection, you just put in these tiny little shapes. I love it. And because I only put 3 or 4 lines each way, I didn't have a lot of spots to put those little diamonds. But look at how adorable. Looks like he's wearing a little sweater or something. Okay, on this bird here, let's just put polka dots. How about that? I'm just going to do polka dots. You do not have to do polka dots, but I'm going to, just because that's just, it's not like a tangle, but it is a pattern we see in lots of things, right? Looks like a little chicken pox chicken. You can do some half ones that are disappearing behind the wing or off the edge of its body. So cute. All right, this guy here, I just think he needs stripes. And I'm going to make them go long ways because he's nice and tall. And I think stripes would be so cute. So lightly with my pen, I'm just going to put in Look at that. My pen is so light that it's not even really touching the paper all the way. But look at that fun bit of texture I'm giving him. Feel free to do a completely different pattern. All right, I love all of their bodies so much. And you know what I didn't do? See, I always change my mind as I'm drawing. I meant to put little bellies on these guys so we could add some tangles on their bellies. And I completely forgot. So I apologize. Luckily, you've got a fourth tile if you want to do a belly. I wanted to show that you could tangle different parts of the bird differently. And I completely skipped that part of the tutorial. So that's okay. We're just going to go with this because they're amazing. And they don't even need bellies. We've got plenty of room to add our tangles. Okay, I'm going to go back to my little square bird. And now we get to play with the wing and with the tail. So you can just use your imagination and add stripes, add zigzags, add circles. If you have a favorite tangle pattern, you could do that, okay? I think for the tail, I want to do a Knight's Bridge. Let me write that one in here. Knight's Bridge is KNIGHTSBRIDGE. Knight's Bridge is by Zentangle. It's similar to Floors in that we're just crisscrossing lines. But then we ink in every other box. And it looks like a chessboard or a checkers board. It's such a bold pattern with that drama of the dark and the light. And I think that would look really cute on its tail. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a couple of lines down and a couple of lines across. And I'm going to start with any box I want. And then I'm just going to go every other. It's looking so cute. For this one's wing, I'm going to start in this little point here, and I'm going to come up and aura these parts and then go back down to that point. Then I'm going to come up and aura again and back down to the point. And again, and maybe once more. For its little feathers on top of its head, I'm just going to give some lines and dots. All right, that little bird is done. We got a lot more details to add around it, but that little one is done. Let's do this one. For this one, I like the bold of the dots. And now for the wing, I just want to do something texture. So I'm just going to do a wiggly line and then just kind of aura that. You do what you want. I'm going to do that same wiggly line on its tail. And maybe I won't even aura them. Should I aura? I think I need to. Look at that texture. I think its crown is just fine like that. I don't think I need to do anything to it. All right, we've got this little guy here. Let's do something completely different. Let's fill this with, I think we did this on another bird where we sort of make like a paisley. So up in this little curve here, I'm gonna give like a little teardrop shape. Give it a little curve and aura it. And then I'm gonna give it some bumps. And then another curved line. Try to keep them curved if you can, not straight across. And I'll aura that line. Then I'm going to go out a little bit and do another curve. And I'll fill this one with a zigzag, like a really narrow zigzag. And I'm going to try to put tiny triangles in each of those bigger triangles. You don't have to, but look at that fun pattern, so much detail. I'm gonna aura that line. I'm gonna do bumps again. And whatever's left, I'm just gonna add some more auraed lines. Can add some circles in those bumps. Up here where I started the teardrop, I can put in some little lines coming out from that point. And look at how each wing is so different. And it's fun to play with bold with texture, texture with bold. So fun. I'm going to put some dots in these as well. And I'm going to add some tiny little stripes to one of these auras out here, just for some texture. Okay, they're looking pretty good. Let's add some details around them. So on this first one, I'm going to put little tiny loops on the left, on the right. They're so tiny, but it's going to give this little bit of a vine look. Just a cute way to embellish your frame. Look how different that looks compared to the other ones. This middle one, I think I'm going to double the line. So look, I'm just gonna go like near it and bump into it and crisscross it. And look at how kind of rugged and fun that turns out. This last little bird looks so serious. I'm gonna aura his eyeball to give him a little bit more character. Oh, it looks so cute, like his little eyelids coming down. For this one, I'm going to add an interior aura for the border. So, and I'm gonna make it a little bit thick. And I'll lift up when I get to his little legs. And when I get to his messy hair. And then we can do something inside this border. So I love just adding little tiny lines of texture, and that would match really well with his body. You could also do zigzags or simply put little polka dots, which is what I'm gonna do to keep this kind of quick. So I'm just going to put dots close together, pushing down hard on my pen. And we have this adorable little frame. All three very different frames. All right, let's add some flowers. Okay, this first one here, I've got room right here for a flower. You can make it go straight up and down, or you can give it a bit of a curve. And I think I'm gonna do the one where I make a letter U and then go across the top. And then add 3 lines, one straight up and then one on each side with a little circle on top. To make that kind of whimsical, I'm going to double the line and double the circles. I'm going to add some dots inside and add some cute leaves with little lines in them for texture. I could do a short flower here. And maybe for this one, I'll just do a circle and some little bumps that don't quite touch it. Looks like a scrambled or a fried egg. And then I can double those lines. Put a little accent in the middle and some leaves. All right, I think that one's done, just needs to be shaded and colored. So we'll set that one aside. Let's go to this little chicken one looking here. So cute. All right, let's add a flower. I've got a good spot for a flower on mine. If I go back and look at my little flower sketches, I can decide I've got a lot of room, so maybe I'll do this large one. But I also really like this one. So many choices. I think I'm going to do the larger one. And I'm going to start with that inner circle. And then add that aura. I think I'm going to add the stem last. All right, I do these big bumps if they work in my spot. If not, do little bumps, it's okay. And I'm going to double those and add some flicks. I'm going to fill the middle with little polka dots and put a stem down to that little grassy hill. And some leaves. And you do what fits. I'm going to double my leaves to give it that whimsical look. And I didn't do that on the other one. I want to go back and do that. Just for fun, up here in the corner, I've got room. So I'm going to do a spiral. And I'm going to do a little sunshine. Again, this is just for fun. We're just adding things. We're taking control of our drawings. Adding things we love. I feel like down here the little grass needs some like little grassy clumps. And then I have this cute little guy at the end. Let's give him that flower that has a little circle, has a petal, and then a petal in the middle. And of course, I'm going to double those and give it 3 dots up on top. Double line the bottom and do whatever kind of leaves you want. If you've got room on the sides and you've got space to fill, you can always draw something coming off the side, a little spiral with a leaf. You can double that. Look how cute. It's amazing to me when you add that extra line, how cute it is. In fact, I kind of want to do it to the bodies of my birds. Should I do that? Not like their wings and stuff, but just their bodies. I think I'm going to. Let's try this guy first. I'm just going to kind of go right alongside of him. Look at that. It gives it like some movement. I'm doing it to all of mine. You don't have to. Oh, I really love that little detail. All right, I'm going to put my pen down. I'm going to grab my pencil and do a little bit of shading. We have exactly 1 minute to finish, so guess what? We're going over the hour. But that's okay, right? You guys have nothing better to do. I'm certain of it. Of course, you can stop it and watch the rest of it another day if you're out of time. Okay, I'm going to go on the inside edge of each shape. I'm just adding my graphite, not too dark, all along the inside edge of the square. And I'm going to go around the outside of his eye and the outside of the wing where it crosses over his body. Take my blending tool, I'm going to soften it, and I always push it or pull it away from the line. and towards the center. And those little bits of light are important. In fact, if you use too much graphite, you can take an eraser and try to put some of that, pick some of that up. Look how much like dimension it has now. I love it. Okay, let's do the triangle one. I'm going to go all along that inside edge. Around the eye and around the wing. You don't need a lot. We're working in a small space, so just a little bit is enough. I soften that and I push it out just a little. Same thing on the wing and around the eyeball. All right, I'm going to go to my last little bird here, the oval. I'm going to go on that inside edge. Around the wing where it goes over the body and around his eye. They're just so cute. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more shading, then we're going to do some blue and some gold. So I'm going to go back to this first one, and I'm just going to put a tiny, tiny bit of shading along the inside edge of that wiggly frame. I'm barely touching it. I'm just putting a little tiny bit. And then with my blending tool, I'm going to push that out towards the bird. And look at how it just gives that tiny shadow. That keeps that outside edge of the frame nice and light and bright and gives that tiny little shadow in there. Same thing on this one. I'm going to go really light on that inside edge. And I'm going to go over the top of that little hill as well. On my last one, I'm actually going to put it right over the dots inside that frame. Let's taking me about 2 seconds to go around because I'm just putting a little bit in, and then my blending tool already has some graphite on it. And I'm just gonna darken that. Aren't these so cute? I really think they are. Okay, I'm gonna pick up my gold pen. If you have one of these gold pens, and if it's not working for you, keep trying. Mine like stopped working, and then I just scribbled and scribbled and scribbled on paper, and eventually the ink started coming out again. You also can like do it on your skin, and sometimes that for some reason gets that gel ink started. Okay, I'm gonna do all their little beaks in gold because that's just kind of been what I've been doing on all of these, and I really love it. I'm gonna do my sunshine golden. I'm gonna try not to go over the black lines. So I'm just sort of doing the little spiral. And then I'm gonna do the outside edge of this little flower here, like the little orad part. And then just go from one to the next. I'm gonna zoom out a bit so you can see all of them. In this one's tail, I'm going to give like an outer edge of gold. And then inside this feather, the little wing, I'm just doing some little scribbles of gold to add some color. Do my flower. If you have lots of colored pencils or pens that you love to use, then you don't have to do this much gold. But since I'm only doing gold, I'm trying to add it to as many little places as I can. You can outline your leaves, outline your tail feathers, do his little gold crown. Inside my last one, I've got some little spots that I can add gold. Could even put some gold polka dots in the background. They don't really show up, so maybe that's not really a good idea, but they show up a little bit. And then we have our blue pencil, and I'm going to use my blue pencil to add to the wings. And I'm just putting a little bit in. You can color the whole thing. You can color just parts of it. The blue and the gold have been so fun to work with. What if I do blue in this bird's eye? Pretty. I could do it in the other squares of his tail on the first one. I know I'm going all over the place, but you also could take it and very lightly, you could add a little bit of blue to the background with the side of your pencil. So lightly and just kind of almost messy. My pencil's almost laying flat. I'm going to sneak my initials into each picture. I'm just going to find a spot. On each one. And there we go. Our cute little doodle shape birds. So many opportunities to tangle in their wings, their feathers, their bodies. You could even tangle their little beaks if you wanted to, or you could tangle the background of the tile. Just so many fun opportunities. And I just want you to practice and play and have fun the rest of your life with these little tiny cute birds. I love them. All right, I hope you had fun with that. One thing that would be kind of cute is if you wanted to tape the back of these and tape them all together, and you could stand it up and have like a cute little 3-piece frame with the birds in them. Also, I love taking little tiles like this and adding a magnet to the back. You can buy like circle magnets on Amazon, or you can get like a sticker magnet. And these can go on your refrigerator or like a little metal filing cabinet somewhere in your office. And you've got cute little bird magnets. So much fun. I hope you loved those. And we'll see you in 2 days for the last video of the series. This went so quickly. All right, we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.